If Donald Trump wants Kamala Harris and others to stop saying that he is a threat to democracy, then he should stop threatening democracy.
Yes, the rhetoric of the cop car burning, courthouse attacking, would-be presidential assassin. You know, the Democrat Party has normalized. Who put that up yesterday? Somebody else put that up. Have normalized presidential assassination attempts, and the news media and the Democrats, they appear to be encouraging more of it. You see Democrats putting signs up. Things like, well, missed him. And, of course, they post these things online as well. Well, happy Tuesday to you, and welcome back once again. We remain at 888-630-9625. 888-630-9625 is the telephone number here. And I want to get right to Hillary Clinton because she is really something. And the left-wing media, the radical media, which encourages political violence, on MSNBC and CNN, and they would tell you that they don't, but they're not very bright people, and they're not very honest people. They're not sincere people. I hope you're not involved personally with anyone from one of those organizations because, they bring home what they do at work. And honestly, extraordinary times we're in. It is Tuesday. It was less than 48 hours ago on Sunday afternoon when the Secret Service opened fire on a creepy Democrat huddled in the bushes, the hedgerow, around yet another President Trump golf course because he's been very successful as a businessman in the United States. And it's the Trump International Golf Club in West Palm Beach, Florida, pushed back from the Atlantic Ocean. But it looks like a very nice place. I've never been there. I keep hearing media people, oh, yes, I've been there many times. Really? You've been there many times? And remarkable stuff. But the would-be assassin now in custody, and apparently he was smirking and smiling in the courtroom yesterday. He had his first appearance in the courtroom. And he was smirking. You see, the courtroom artists drew some cartoonish pictures, those courtroom pictures. And he's smirking and smiling and having a good time, I think, enjoying the celebrity of it all. And the Democrats are kind of enjoying it, too. In fact, a lot of Democrats they try not to say it out loud, but every now and then they reveal their true feelings, their real worldview, and that is that they wish that he had been murdered. And I don't think there's really any doubt about that when it comes to an awful lot of Democrats. And you got to keep in mind, of course, as I know you do because you're learned and educated people, that the commies of the 20th century murdered 100 million people in the name of bringing about their form of utopia, which is slavery, as long as they're in charge. And, of course, the Democrat Party is the party of slavery in the United States of America, the party of the Confederate States of America, the party of the plantation and the bullwhip and the hemp rope and the tree. That is the Democrat Party. Just in case you're an African-American voter, you should check that out. You should look it up because the Democrat Party is not your friend. And it doesn't matter whether you're a black or a white. They're not your friend. They're not your friend. They're here to take. They're here to seize power and to inflict their power upon you because they're not liberals. They're the left. And no one can be more illiberal than the leftists. And the left is the most anti-liberal death cult of an organization you're going to find anywhere on the planet. Now, with that said, let's get to Hillary Diane Rodham Clinton because everybody knows about her, right? You don't want to cross her and end up in a ditch somewhere. I know it's only happened 40 or 45 times, but pay no attention to that. Hillary Clinton appeared on her Palsy Walsey show on MSNBC last night, the Rachel Maddow show. And I feel the need to remind people of it every time, but but I think it's worth reminding people of. NBC Fake News pays Rachel Maddow $30 million a year. Now, I believe that George Stephanopoulos now makes $25 million a year, and David Muir makes $25 million. Those jobs pay pretty well. My job, not so much, but I'm in radio. So what are you going to do? I'm in TV also, on Newsmax. But never mind. We'll just move on from there. Hillary Clinton went on Rachel Maddow last night on MSNBC. She's a radical left-winger. She is. It's not that she's unintelligent. It's just that she's used her high intelligence for evil and not for good. And she's got a TV show that she doesn't show up for very frequently, very often. But last night she had Hillary Diane Rodham Clinton on because Hillary, hours after the second would-be Trump assassin was taken into custody in West Palm Beach, Florida, on Sunday afternoon, Hillary Clinton felt the need to go public with her rage, with her contempt, her fury, and it burns like 1,000 suns. The woman is not well. In fact, I was watching this all this morning, and I went to Al Gore's Amazing Internet and did a quick search for the word psychopath, because I thought, gosh, I wonder if Hillary Clinton's behavior technically qualifies for psychopathy and whether she would be considered a psychopath under the circumstances. And I went and I found that Very Well Mind, one of these, I checked several, but I kind of like the way this one panned out best. And Very Well Mind, they have a definition of psychopath, and it's not an official diagnosis. They say it refers to someone who is callous and antisocial. Hillary Clinton hates all of humanity. Does that help? Does that contribute? I think it does. The term psychopath is used to describe someone who is callous, unemotional, and morally depraved. Let's ask Bill Clinton what he thinks about all that. Although not an official mental health diagnosis, it is often used in clinical and legal settings to refer to someone who often is egocentric. She's a politician. All politicians are egocentric. Antisocial. She's fine with people that give her lots of money and things, but lacking remorse and empathy for others, and often has criminal tendencies. Let's look at her investment history and how many, the Rose Law Firm in Little Rock, Arkansas, and what they're investing in. All those investments. Many psychopathy characteristics overlap with symptoms of antisocial personality disorder, a broader mental health condition used to describe people who chronically act out and break societal rules. However, only a small number of individuals with antisocial personality disorder are considered to be a psychopath. Now, I find that to be kind of fun. And the people that's from this verywellmind.com psychology website. And then I went to, because I like to go to the dictionary, I went to Merriam-Webster's dictionary for the definition. A mentally unstable person, very broad in general. A person having an egocentric and antisocial personality marked by a lack of remorse for one's actions and absence of empathy for others, and often criminal tendencies. So that's Merriam-Webster. Now, with that in mind, let's go to Hillary Clinton, who was on the television last night with, Rachel Maddow on MSDNC, DNC TV. Pretty amazing stuff. And the American media is not covering it because they're filthy, corrupt Democrat Party front groups. The Independent out of the United Kingdom is they've got a little bit of a covering it. And also with this Elon Musk, Taylor Swift thing popped up too. But Hillary Clinton last night, Real Clear Politics has a version of the story. Hillary Clinton, I'll just leave that one alone. I don't get why it's so difficult for the press to have a consistent narrative about how dangerous Trump is. Now, again, this is last night, so it's approximately 30 hours after the second would-be assassin was arrested by the the police in Florida. It was a county sheriff's office that made the arrest. And you saw the body cam video was released because they're not the FBI, so they're not keeping a secret. But former Secretary of State, and while she was Secretary of State during the Obama administration, the Obama administration, she wasn't our chief diplomat for all 8 years, but she was for a significant portion of the 8 years of the Obama administration. While we bombed more countries than any other administration since World War II, and Barack Obama has the Nobel Peace Prize at home. No sense of irony. And she's the chief diplomat for much of that time frame. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton on Monday told MSNBC host Rachel Maddow that it's the job of the mainstream media to be objective, but in the sense that they cover the object of former President Donald Trump for his demagoguery, his danger to our country and the world. Now, they're not going to rest until he's killed. They're not going to rest until he's murdered. Hillary Diane Rodham Clinton last night on with Rachel Maddow.
I don't understand why it's so difficult for the press to have a consistent narrative about how dangerous Trump is.
The press.
The late, great journalist Harry Evans, one time said that, journalists should, really try to achieve objectivity. And by that, he said, I mean, they should cover the object. Well, the object in this case is Donald Trump. His demagoguery, his danger to our country and the world, and stick with it.
Danger to our country and the world. And she's lecturing the news media, saying the news media needs to demonize him more because they have not demonized him enough. Hillary Diane. And then she sees that as and you can see why she should see it, because she gets a tongue bath and has been getting a tongue bath from the fake mainstream media for decades now.
What Trump is counting on is for people to get desensitized. I mean, oh my gosh, did you hear what he said yesterday? Did you hear who he attacked? Did you hear the viciousness?
You keep shooting at him.
Just like with a shrug. Okay, fine, we're moving on. Well, Americans need to understand that they have to take Trump both seriously and literally.
That's the old, they take him literally, but they don't take him seriously. She's trying to pull that sock inside out. Now, the Democrat Party sent a Bernie Sanders volunteer to shoot and nearly kill Congressman Steve Scalise, tried to wipe out the whole baseball field of Republican members of the House and Senate. Remarkable stuff. They've shot at Donald Trump twice. They've burned our cities from coast to coast over a career criminal junkie who died of cardiac failure. And they've looted my neighborhood again last week, latest go-round. Stop carjacking people. Stop shooting people. Stop robbing. Stop looting. Democrats. Hillary Clinton.
He has said what he wants to do. He and his allies with
Lies.
Project 2025.
Nothing to do with it.
His desire to be a dictator, at least on day one.
Lie.
All of that is in the public record.
To secure the border and to drill, baby, drill. And he did it as a laugh line, the dictator on day one. Because the left was accusing him of being a dictator, and he was already president for 4 years. There was nothing dictatorial about him. But never mind that. The facts need not get in the way of a good false narrative, as is so often the case with these people. Can you say these people? They can say these people. I've got more of Hillary Diane. She is, I believe that she may be fairly categorized as a psychopath. And hours, literally about 30 hours after the latest would-be assassin was arrested, and here she is stoking the flames, fanning the flames. How many people have to be shot? How many invasions there have to be of the Family Research Council? And, 5 Democrats have self-immolated in the last 2 years over their politics. We've had multiple suicide attacks on police by Democrats, and then they lecture Republicans about rhetoric. No sense of irony either. Just amazing. More of her coming up. You know that Eden Pure is having their famous BOGO deal on Thunderstorm air purifiers. The buy one, get one. When you buy one Thunderstorm, you get one for free. No matter how many you buy, you get an equal number for free. If you buy 2, you get 2 for free. You buy 5, you get 5. You see how this works, right? The thunderstorm will help to completely eliminate any nasty odor in your home and your office. The worst odors like, that created by pets and cigarette smoke and litter boxes and left-wing protesters. The O3 molecules seek out and destroy nasty odors even underneath and behind furniture. Nothing can hide from the thunderstorm, and now is the time to order because you buy Eden Pure's buy one, get one free sale. It's for a limited time only. You don't want to wait. With thousands of 5-star reviews, it works like a champ. We've got 2 at home ourselves. People are buying several for around their home and even as gifts, too. Now, all you have to do is go to EdenPureDeals.com and use the discount code ChrisBogo, ChrisBogo. That's EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code is ChrisBogo. Yeah, Hillary Clinton pouring gasoline on the fire. But she didn't self-immolate like so many other Democrats, including a Democrat self-immolating in Boston last week. The news media still hasn't covered it. That guy self-immolated outside the Israeli consulate in Boston, just like a Democrat self-immolated at the Israeli consulate in Atlanta, and another Democrat self-immolated at the Israeli embassy in Washington because they hate the Jews. Ah, yes. Yeah, Hillary has some strange obsessions, and I've got more of her crazy, and Elon Musk and Taylor Swift, a lot of mental illness on the loose out there. Let's go to the telephones, Michael. Let's go to Kathy, calling from McLean, Virginia. Kathy, you're on the Chris Plante Show.
Yes. Hey, Chris, thank you, and thank you for all you are doing to shed light on the dark, evil minds of psychopaths around the world. Okay, so I was just going to say, don't forget to mention, along with her many psychopathic accomplishments, she got the Margaret Sanger Award for supporting killing of babies. And
by the millions.
By the millions. And Planned Parenthood was originally called the Negro Project. Then it converted to the Birth Control Project, then Planned Parenthood, because people knew it. And Margaret Sanger is quoted as saying, "Don't let the word get out. Our goal is to exterminate the Negro population."
And her eugenics program was picked up by the Socialist Workers' Party of Adolf Hitler in Germany. And also Jane Fonda was given the Margaret Sanger Award, too. I'm sure they both display the awards proudly at home. I assume they're lucite blocks or golden statuettes. You know, I'm a big fan of abbreviating everything, and I think everything should be abbreviated. Michael Pierce is just MP or M, and everything has to be abbreviated. And now there's a Venezuelan gang, a Venezuelan street gang. They're murderous. They're like Tony Montana, but there are thousands of them. You know, Scarface and the great classic movie, Scarface. But there's Tren de Aragua, Venezuelan gang, prison gang, street gang, drug smuggling gang, human trafficking gang. The Democrats have waved, we believe, literally thousands of them into the United States, and it cannot end well. It will end for a lot of people who are murdered by them, and the drug overdoses and the child sex trafficking and forced prostitution. The Democrats want more of this. You must look at their actions and not their words. But now the governor of Texas, who's a Republican and not an insane person, Greg Abbott, has announced a crackdown. It's a crackdown, I tell you, on Tren de Aragua, which we now abbreviate as TDA. We now call it TDA, which always reminds me of the Monty Python skit, Lemming of the BDA. You know, it's a man's life in the British Dental Association, the BDA. But now this Venezuelan gang, we're calling TDA because we want to get all the kids in on it and everything. Oh, you're a member of TDA? Oh, how open-minded of you. Isn't that wonderful? But Greg Abbott is looking at cracking down on Tren de Aragua, and now forever known as TDA. And the Democrats, they support TDA. they support the Venezuelan street gang and all that implies: the murder, the rape, the kidnappings, the human trafficking, the drug trafficking, the fatal drug overdoses, the drug addictions. That's TDA, and that's the Democrat Party because they brought us TDA. And if you mention it, then they shout in your face that you're a racist, and then they kill your children and harvest their organs because they're completely insane. Also, there's a wacky story, kind of a wacky story out of Lebanon, which is just north of Israel, and they've got a radical Islamic jihadi terror group there known as Hezbollah. Hezbollah, that means the Party of Allah. It's a political party and a terrorist group. It's not a party where you go and have a nice beer and hang out with people and look for dates or anything. It's a psychopathic kill party. Hillary Clinton might be an honorary member. Amazing stuff. But in Lebanon, the story that just broke a little while ago, dozens wounded. That's the normal beginning of a headline out of Lebanon, and it has been for about 1,000 years. But Lebanon explosions, colon. They love their colons. Dozens wounded after pagers detonate, state media reports. Hundreds of handheld pagers exploded across Lebanon on Tuesday, that's today, injuring dozens of people, but it's hundreds of pagers. How could only dozens of people be injured? According to a state media report, Lebanon state-run national news agency. We've got state-run news agencies here, but really they're Democrat Party-run. Their state-run news agency is Hezbollah-run, Party of Allah. Here, it's the Democrat Party. Who do you think kills more people, the Democrat Party or Hezbollah? I think the Democrat Party is going to come out in front on that one. You know, there are going to be about 20,000 homicides in the United States this year, about 10,000 of those African-American homicides. The Democrats like to say Black Lives Matter, but they really only mean an occasional criminal that dies of heart failure like George Floyd. But never mind that. Back to Lebanon. Lebanon state-run national news agency reported that Beirut's southern suburbs and in other areas, the handheld pagers system was detonated using advanced technology. I smell Jews, don't you? That's got to be the Jews. You got advanced technology. Who's got the advanced technology? The Jews. They got all those Nobel Prizes and stuff. So who can make all of these pagers explode at the same time? The Jews. That's who. And that's why, just one more reason, at least, for the Democrats to hit them. So across the Beirut southern suburbs and in other areas, the handheld pager system was detonated using advanced technology, and dozens of injuries were reported. It wasn't immediately clear if people were killed. You know, since it didn't work very well, this could be Iran. It could be Iran. It could be, it might be Hamas. Because, you know, you think the Israelis are going to do it. First of all, the reason I kind of laughed out loud at the story, I'll admit I laughed out loud at the story, because Michael Piercy and I are sitting here and the story popped, and I said, who uses pagers? I mean, what century is it? What decade is it? Well, you got like clip on your belt pagers. Hey, I'm being paged. Is it a vibrating pager normally? Hey, the office is calling. You know, what do you get? The pagers, honestly. How primitive. But then they explode, and then they say, oh, what advanced technology. Our pagers exploded. Boy, they dazzle with technology, don't they? And they all explode at once across the southern suburbs of Beirut and in other areas, but they can't say because their technology isn't advanced enough yet to say. Just amazing stuff. So and it's a handheld pager. So you can't even clip it on your belt? What is the hand? You got to walk around with it in your hand? They haven't gotten to cell phones yet. Smartphones have not made it to the southern suburbs of Beirut just yet. So dozens of injuries reported. Honestly, I think if it was Israel, I think they'd blow up real good and they'd kill you, and then you'd be dead. Because what's the point of just injuring somebody? You just anger them. Then now they're angry. You think they're angry before? Wait till you see them now. Yeah, so Lebanon explosions, dozens wounded after pagers detonate. As I had to check to see if the because sometimes you're reading a story on the internet and then you discover it's from 1983. I'm like, wow, that's not that didn't happen today. That's 1983. But they still have exploding pagers, and they don't even kill you; they just injure you. All right, I'm backing off the whole Israel theory because Israel's much more efficient than that. They wouldn't just have hundreds of pagers explode and injure people. Pagers? They have to get into the supply chain of the pagers. Where do pagers even come from now? I have a couple of old pagers in a drawer at home with old stuff, and I do, and I kept them. I have an alphanumeric pager. You remember those? They were all the rage when they came out. You could send like a sentence of text on the alphanumeric pager. Ooh, look at this. I just got a text on my alphanumeric pager with a message. How advanced. But in Lebanon, they're looking forward to the age of the alphanumeric pager. And someday smartphones will come. And when the smartphones do come, they'll be the smartest things in the country. Lebanon used to be a pretty functional country, even not so long ago. But then the jihadis came. All right, but I digress. Also, I was looking up the Margaret Sanger Award there. They gave one to Dr. Ruth, got the Margaret Sanger Award, Hillary Clinton, Hanoi Jane Fonda. Remember, Hanoi Jane Fonda famously said when the Wuhan Red Death came along, she's a commie, of course, and a perfectly mainstream Democrat. The Democrats love her. And she betrayed her country and got Americans tortured in Vietnam, and she's fine with that. But when the Wuhan Red Death came along out of Wuhan, China, where the communists were playing with germ warfare. And what did Hanoi Jane, recipient of the Margaret Sanger Award, what did she say about the Wuhan Red Death?
COVID is God's gift to the left.
God's gift. When she did that funny little joke and laughed about it, the reports were that there were 8 million people dead worldwide and more than 1 million in the United States. Those were the reports as a result of the Wuhan Red Death. And it's God's gift to the left because the left loves death more than we love life, which is the old Al-Qaeda bumper sticker. The old Al-Qaeda saying was, we love death more than you love life. It was their way of threatening us. But the Democrat Party, they've pretty much caught up with Al-Qaeda and the we love death more than you love life thing because, boy, to say that they're not pro-life would be generous understatement, wouldn't it? Yes, it would. Womp, womp, womp. You're a Democrat Party. And speaking of loving death more than you love life, let's get back to Hillary Diane Rodham Clinton. She's really something. Now, you know what? I want to start with number 3 again. I know we played number 3, but I liked it so much because she's on with Rachel Maddow last night. And she's saying all this crazy stuff about how Trump, hours after another would-be assassin was nabbed by the police and shots were fired on the golf course and he fled and a quick police manhunt caught him because of license plate readers and because a good citizen, shot pictures of the psychopath's car as he was racing away. The guy heard the gunshots, apparently, saw the guy running out of the bushes, probably knew that it was the Trump golf course, took out his iPhone created by I guess it was an iPhone, because everybody's got an iPhone, right? Created by the patriarchy, which the left is so disdainful of, and shared the pictures with the police, and then the bad guy was caught right away. The Democrats don't consider him to be the bad guy. The Democrats are frustrated that he was unsuccessful. Missed again, But Hillary Clinton last night on with Rachel Maddow. Rachel Maddow was not pushing back on anything, talking about how dangerous Trump is to our country and to the world, what a menace he is. And we have to take him seriously. And literally, she is just this close to calling for his murder in those terms. But even without using those specific words, it's what she was doing. She was assailing, demonizing, vilifying, turning up the heat and the rhetoric rather than dialing it down, because I think it would not be unreasonable to believe Hillary Clinton's still very bitter about her election loss in 2016, where the New York Times told her she had a 98% chance of winning, and then she lost, and she hates the Electoral College and the Supreme Court and America, and capitalism and freedom. But she really has a crazy lust for power, and she's still going for it. And then last night she lied about Trump and his allies, demonizing, when she says his allies, she's demonizing, 75 million Americans. And she doesn't know what the Project 2025 is. None of them do. She couldn't tell you one sentence. The Heritage Foundation has a subgroup that came up, and it started years ago, Project 2025, kind of a conservative agenda going forward for the future where we save America and the Constitution and sanity and gender and science and all this good stuff. But President Trump has nothing to do with it. He doesn't know what's in it. He has never been involved in a Project 2025 luncheon, much less creating what it is. And then she says he's a dictator on day one, which was the Sean Hannity joke that he made while doing a town hall. And he said, the media was accused, oh, he's a dictator. And Sean Hannity asked him, are you going to be a dictator when you're reelected? And he said, yeah, I'm going to be a dictator on day one. I'm going to secure the border and drill, baby, drill. And everybody laughed, and that was it. But Hillary, who's a psychopath and a pathological liar, said this to Rachel Maddow last night.
He has said what he wants to do. He and his allies with Project 2025, his desire to be a dictator, at least on day one, all of that is in the public record.
She is mentally disturbed. She should probably be arrested by the FBI in a pre-dawn raid with a CNN camera crew across the street and battering rams and tactical gear and rifles and helmets with body cams that will never have the video released. She is a pathological liar, and I think a psychopath based on my reading of the term psychopath. Isn't it amazing? And she's trying to create more outrage around Donald Trump. I come to the conclusion, it's the only conclusion I can come to, that she wants him shot and killed or otherwise assassinated, maybe an exploding pager.
I believe that more Americans have to be, willing to endure what frankly is discomforting and to some extent kind of painful, to take him at his word and to be outraged by what he represents.
Now, again, about 30 hours earlier, a second would-be assassin was grabbed by the police in West Palm Beach, Florida, and she is stoking the flames, pouring gasoline on the fire. She is inciting violence against the former president of the United States, to whom she lost in the presidential election. Isn't that amazing? And then she went on to a podcast. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is still Rachel Maddow. And here he's a danger to your life and must be stopped.
We're not going back to the, romance with dictators that puts, innocent lives at risk and America's security in danger. We can't go back and give this very dangerous man another chance to do harm to our country and the world.
She's not talking about the would-be assassin that was arrested one day earlier. She's talking about the target of a second would-be assassin in the United States of America. She is filth, and she, if anyone, is a danger to the peace and to civility in the United States of America. Smell yourself. Wow. She is reprehensible. She is despicable. And Rachel Maddow sits there smiling and nodding in agreement. Yes, the party that brought us the first Civil War is on the march again. It is common for people to feel what they may think is heart symptoms. Those feelings may be nothing at all, but what if it is AFib? Atrial fibrillation, a common arrhythmia that's also a leading cause of stroke. Well, check out the Cardiomobile Personal EKG by AliveCor. The Cardiomobile Personal EKG is the only FDA-cleared pocket-sized EKG device that gives you 6 views of your heart and can also tell you if your heart rhythm is normal or not. You can take a medical-grade EKG right on your smartphone with this device and easily share accurate EKG data with your doctor remotely in a matter of seconds. September is AFib Awareness Month, so it's the perfect time to do something to manage your heart health, which is good. For a limited time right now, KardiaMobile is giving 20% off to all my listeners because you hang with me. All you have to do is go to Kardia.com. That's KARDIA.com, or go to Amazon and use the code 20PLANT. 20PLANT. That's 20PLANTE. 20PLANT to get 20% off your KardiaMobile 6L. Sponsored by AliveCore Inc. Yeah, Hillary Clinton pouring gasoline, pouring nuclear waste on the fires that are burning hot in the United States, hours after a second would-be assassin with a Chinese combat assault rifle was nabbed by the police when he was getting ready to open fire on President Trump. Shots were fired by the Secret Service, and that was the former First Lady, Secretary of State, and presidential candidate Hillary Clinton stoking the flames of political violence in America.
We came, we saw, he died.
Hillary Diane Rodham Clinton, when she was Secretary of State, and Muammar Gaddafi was killed by his own people, a violent mob that murdered him real good. And Hillary Clinton laughed and celebrated. Isn't that great? She's really something. That's our chief diplomat there. Hillary Clinton was in Washington, D.C. last night. It's unclear now whether this Rachel Maddow that they aired last night on MSNBC, whether it was pre-taped perhaps on Saturday or something before they aired it on Monday night. Hard to say. Maybe Sunday morning before the assassination attempt. Hard to say. Because she was on stage with Katie Couric last night in Washington, D.C., and Katie Couric asked her as a fluffer, it's the merger of state and corporate power. She said she's horrified by the Trump events.